Unfortunately, there's been more cancellations and a shock announcement that one of the biggest cruise lines is going to retire part of its fleet. And we talk about how one cruise line has made a bizarre decision. So stay tuned for this big cruise update.
Well, ahoy there, cruisers! We're Cruise with Ben and David, so let's kick off this week's cruise news roundup with Royal Caribbean. This week they bought the cruise line Hapag-Lloyd in a joint venture with TUI. Could this be the start of consolidation within the cruise industry? Also, royal amplification projects have been postponed indefinitely. So this unfortunately means big overhauls to Allure of the Seas, Explorer, Liberty and Adventure of the Seas have been cancelled. These were all due to get big renovations and additions, such as the Abyss slide on the Allure of the Seas, and new things like slides, restaurants, and new additions on the other ships. Other ships that have already been amplified include Independence, Navigator, Mariner, and Oasis of the Seas. In other Royal Caribbean news, the new Galveston terminal has been delayed due to construction delays. It will not be ready to welcome Oasis-class ships, so Allure of the Seas will no longer sail from Galveston. Instead, Liberty of the Seas will take Allure's itineraries in late 2021. At the moment, Royal Caribbean's top priority is still repatriating crew. They're doing everything they can to take care of their crew and get them home. So far, they've repatriated almost 25,000 crew members.
Next up, Norwegian Cruise Line have cancelled all August cruises, as well as most September cruises and some in October. They've done this really quietly for some reason. They actually posted it on social media, saying, "Your safety is our #1 priority, both on and off the ships." So a little bit more detail about those cancellations. So all sailings from Norwegian have been cancelled up until August the 30th. Then more sailings in September have been cancelled too, except for Seattle-based Alaska cruises on the Norwegian Joy and Norwegian Bliss, which they say will operate as normal. This is a very strange announcement, as Alaska is still one of the most unlikely places to have a season this year due to a number of reasons. All other big cruise lines have already cancelled the season for 2020. The Caribbean looks so much more likely to be open for cruises, so we think this is a really strange decision. On top of this, Alaska have just announced new rules requiring visitors to provide proof they have tested negative for COVID-19. This will basically be a logistical nightmare and impossible for cruisers to do, just because of the volume of cruise passengers. Also, cruise lines, when sailing from the USA, by law, have to call at a port at least one other country. This would normally be Canada. It's called the Jones Act, but this can't be done because Canada is now closed for the whole season until the end of October. There is a waiver that they can apply for, but it is unlikely. So what a strange, bizarre decision from Norwegian to still go ahead and say they're going to be cruising in Alaska. Could it happen? Absolutely, but it's looking very unlikely. They said they are working closely with Alaska to make this happen. As well as August and September, they've cancelled all voyages in October 2020 to Canada, New England, and cruises embarking in Vancouver. Impacted cruisers will automatically receive 125% future cruise credit of the amount paid, with that credit being delivered on June 25th. You can also ask for a full refund to the original form of payment as well, but bear in mind this could take months because there's so many people cancelling and changing bookings at the moment.
Next, news from Carnival. The CEO has admitted that he doesn't know when they will start cruising again. Carnival are supposed to resume cruising on August the 1st, with 8 ships sailing from the port of Galveston, Miami and Port Canaveral. This obviously got cruisers, including ourselves, very excited, but the company have now said that this announcement was a mistake. CEO Arnold Donald said that this wasn't meant to be a definite date. They're still waiting to see how things will evolve and develop. He said that it was one of the most insightful mistakes that they have ever made. He went on to say, "The return to cruising would be determined by many factors, including the CDC and even the destinations in which they will cruise. The world is going to tell us destinations are going to open when they decide to open. It's not going to be us telling them. This is really disappointing, but obviously safety does come first. He also made another strange announcement yesterday saying that it will be hard to find cruise deals in the future because of demand. We personally find this a bit of a strange thing to say because obviously there's going to be a demand from existing cruisers that want to get back to cruising. But for new cruisers, I think it's going to be deals that are going to entice them back to cruising. What do you think? Let us know in the comments section below.
Yeah, we foresee a huge drop in people who haven't cruised before, so deals are going to be needed. But it's just a strange announcement overall. Why would you announce that there's going to be no deals? It's very strange. You would just keep quiet rather than anything. They're going to need these deals to get new people cruising.
Yeah, obviously this may be something to do with reduced capacity in the future.
Absolutely.
And that they've already got bookings booked up due to people pushing cruises to next year. But still, it's not a great thing to hear, is it?
I think they did it to get people booking now rather than later because they probably aren't getting the bookings that they want. Because there is going to be a reduced capacity, but that initial demand from existing cruisers will drop off quickly. Next, breaking news with Carnival. They have sold 6 ships with more to come. These ships will be leaving the fleet soon in the coming days. They're retiring ships faster due to the COVID-19 outbreak, but they've also indicated that this is just the beginning with more ships to go too. That's a lot of ships to go. Next up, MSC, there's rumours that they are asking crew to return. This is according to Cruise Trade News. A letter was sent to crew looking for crew members to start work again. This is good news. They're expecting to have full manning on ships from July the 15th for an August the 1st start. This would allow the crew a few weeks to train before passengers got on board with all of the new procedures post-COVID. So this is quite exciting news, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that is a good sign.
But this is for cruises in the Mediterranean as well. So they're asking crew to come back for July the 15th, giving them the 2 weeks.
Yes,
so exciting.
Essentially starting close to home, which is what we think most cruise lines will do, is start in the regions where they're strongest and where they're really based.
Yeah, but good news. And next, some breaking news from Virgin Voyages. They have announced their COVID prevention plan. This includes thermal cameras, reduced capacity with social distancing, and more in-depth boarding and screening procedures for both crew and passengers. They have also installed brand new air purification systems on board that disinfects air and is proven to kill 99.9% of all viruses. They've also announced a cleaning plan including the fogging of cabins and luggage as well as the use of hospital-grade disinfectants. To adhere to social distancing recommendations, large groups events will be limited through ticketing, in addition to leaving seats between each party in theatres and tables being left empty between people in restaurants. There's no buffet on board, so there are no changes there. They are already set up for contactless payments using the band key, as well as having virtual lines for things like guest services and other things, so there'll be no need to stand in a physical line anywhere. Whether or not masks are going to be mandatory, they haven't said, but they said they're going to be following the guidance of CDC and other providers.
So moving on to news from the CDC, they've announced that they don't know when it will be safe to cruise. The no sail order is due to expire on the 24th of July, but they're saying that they don't have enough information at the moment to make a call on that end date.
Yeah, along with Carnival announcing they don't know when they're going to start cruising again and Norwegian pushing back again, it puts us back at square one, doesn't it?
It really does. It's not a great sign.
Basically, cruise lines have no idea when they're going to be starting to cruise again. So when do you think they're going to start again? We'd love to hear from you in the comment section below.
Also, are you finding it frustrating that cruise lines are not announcing cancellations earlier, leaving it to last minute? And maybe when things like Norwegian, where it's clear it's going to be cancelled, I'd say, they're not announcing cancellations. Is that fair? Let us know what you think.
Yeah, we're getting lots of emails with people really angry saying that the cruise lines themselves know they're going to cancel these cruises but are still selling them. We agree, should they be putting them back at a more reasonable date? But I think it's such a fluid situation at the moment. The cruise lines themselves, as well as the CDC, who obviously overlooks all of this, have no idea when it's going to start again. We just have our fingers crossed that they will be back soon.
Definitely.
Again, thank you so much to all of our patrons. If you become a patron, we give you extra things like behind the scenes footage, extra episodes, as well as a podcast every 2 weeks. And becoming a patron, you are really supporting us to make more videos, more content, and better content for you guys. Our cruise captains of the week are Jeff and Betty. So thank you, Jeff and Betty.
Hi! You can also grab one of our new t-shirts in our Teespring store. Plug, which you can find in the description section below. And you can also see some of the designs under this video.
Yeah, thank you so much for your continued support. Hit that subscribe button. We've got so many great videos coming in the future. That's it till next time.
Happy cruising.